Yo, what is up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys another report card video heading into the Stage 3 Major. So without further ado, let's get right into the ratings. So I wanted to start off in chronological order with, of course, the number one team, in my opinion, Atlanta Faze. So looking at Faze, I have them as let's say, fifth ranked team going into this. There were four other teams that performed better, but more on that later in the next video, going over day one's matches. So looking at their progress report from, of course, stage 3, I gave them a B minus. Overall, I thought Faze did pretty well, considering that they're one of the top ranked teams in this game. And they had two very difficult matchups against Rokkr and Optic. I feel like they probably had one of the most difficult schedules, if not the most difficult schedule of any team in stage 3. They had to face New York Subliners, Optic, and Rokkr, which are considered by most of us to be the top four teams in the game right now. So looking at that, I thought their teamwork was really good. Their composure was good. Their hard point was pretty solid, could have been better. Their S&D was looking a lot better than it has in the past. And their control, I gave it a BB+. So I thought their control was actually really solid, and it was a swing in a lot of their series. And it looked a lot better than it has in the previous stages. So that's why I gave them a B+ there. And in terms of my comments on where they can improve, they still look to be a top tier team. They just need things to go their way in one of their matchups with Rokkr or Optic at this major. I don't think that they'll play both. I don't see any other team apart from Rokkr or Optic beating them at this major. So those are their two teams to watch out for. Now looking at our next team, we of course have the Boston Breach, and I gave them a C-, as you guys can see here. And honestly, their teamwork I thought was a C-, their composure was a C, their hardpoint was a C-, and their S&D also was a C-, a C+, along with their control. The Breach really need to get back to basics in order to have any chance to major this weekend. Their stage 3 performance was uncharacteristic, and I don't really expect that to continue going into the major. So that's why I didn't really rag on the Breach too much. It just looked like a really off stage for them, and it happens to teams. Looking at our next team, we of course have the Florida Mutineers, and I gave them a C- as well. I said their teamwork was a C-, their composure was a C, their hardpoint was a C-, their S&D was a C+, and their control was a C+. They're kind of a mirror to Boston in that sense. Both teams were not very good this stage, and I think the Mutineers are in a different place than the Boston Breach, though. Breach have been a top 4 team throughout most of the season. Excuse me, sorry, I'm just a little bit congested. I've been fighting off like congestion this week. So the Mutineers are at a make or break point in the season. Like I said, they're not like Boston where they've been a top 4 team. So having one bad stage can just be kind of written off as an anomaly. If they want to win the major, they have to play as well as they did during major 2. They played really, really well, and they got a top 4 placing there. So it's not like I don't think it can happen again. I think this team has a lot of potential, but they're just not realizing it. Of course, I know that they had COVID, so that could obviously have thrown things off a lot since players were playing at home instead of playing at the offices. But they are professionals, and I do expect them to come out at the LAN now that they're all better and really put on the show like they did in Major 2. Hopefully they do. If they don't, then I think it's time to really consider other options. Definitely bring in Yeez if you don't do well at the stage 2 major, because time is ticking. I mean, we only have 2 more like majors and then champs. So we're over halfway done with the season. Looking at our next team, another team that is really in need of some sort of meaningful change or a really strong performance at the major, the London Royal Ravens. I gave them a D-. Gave their teamwork a C-, composure a C, hardpoint a D-, S&D a D+, and control a D+. I mean, they just had very lackluster performances throughout the entirety of the stage. The only team that they beat was Paris. And the Ravens are a team that seems to be completely chalked at this point in my mind. Even though they have accrued a lot of points, their performance just isn't there anymore. Of course, Joey Gizmo went right back home for personal reasons, like I mentioned in the last video. So that really threw off the chemistry of this team. And obviously it was unintentional. The guys having, unforeseen circumstances arising in his life, and that can't be helped. So, we just wish Gizmo the best, and we hope that he is able to come back to this team at all, period, right? It doesn't need to be soon. I hope he is able to get through whatever is really hindering him from coming back and performing. I hope that he is in the best of health as well, if it's anything personal. So looking at our next team, we have the Los Angeles Guerillas. I gave them a D- as well. Um, just D's across the board, pause. D- teamwork, composure is a D, hardpoint's a D-, S&D is a D+. Their S&D is actually like their strongest game mode. Their control is D+. Big pause, too many Ds. And in terms of my comments, I think the Guerillas are chalked at this point, like fully, ultra mega, super chalked, like done, stick a fork in them. They've won one series out of the 8 that they've played since Stage 2 Major. Now that's crazy. They went 0-3 at the Pro-Am, and I said it then, I'll say it now. This team is done. Stick a fork in them. They're done. Looking at our next team, we have the LA Thieves. And even though you guys know that they did not have the greatest performance in Stage 3, I had a massive typo on the report cards. It's just because I was making this really late. You know, the grind never stops. So sorry about the error with Stage 2 performance. Stage 3, obviously, but I just caught that. So the Thieves, I gave their teamwork a B-. I thought they had pretty solid teamwork. Their composure was a C+. Their composure wasn't really great. Their hardpoint I thought was very solid considering how bad they were across the board. Thieves are not a team that really does well online, so this wasn't much of a shock to me. And their S&D and control, I give a C+. I thought it was just mid. So the Thieves are a LAN team. I wouldn't freak out too much about poor online play from them. And that's pretty much the tweet. That's it. Look to the major, look to LAN. I think these will have a bounce back at LAN. Now our next team is Minnesota Rokkr. I gave them A++. I mean, come on, man, 5-0. They beat Faze. I mean, they had an amazing Stage 3. I can't say enough positive things about the Rokkr and just their turnaround. So their teamwork, I gave an A+. Composure, I gave an A+. Hardpoint, I gave an A+. S&D, an A+, and control, an A+. They were the best team in the stage by far. They have a very strong chance of winning this major, and anything less than top 3 is a failure. I'm really high on the Rokkr. I really think that they have a great chance to win it all, and they might be my favorite this weekend. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So looking at our next team, we have the New York Subliners. I gave them an A+ as well. I thought their Stage 3 performance was really good. I like their teamwork, A+, composure, A+, hardpoint, A+, S&D, A+, control, A+. They were just finger looking good, man. Pause. So they were a top team this stage, and they proved that by beating Optic in convincing fashion to close it out for themselves. They need to counter the pace of faster teams like Atlanta Faze if they want to win it all. Same can be said for the Toronto Ultra. I believe they lost 3-2 to Ultra. Yeah, they did. And that was due to the fact that Ultra played really fast and they played their game like I said they probably would in the pick'ems. And yeah, Ultra played really fast, and that's why they got the win. Now looking at the Paris Legion, Fs across the board, press F to pay respect. They're moving to Vegas, by the way. That was announced earlier today. So they're going to be the Vegas Legion, which I like that branding with the little fleur or whatever that is. They could definitely turn that into an ace and then just become the Vegas Legion. I kind of like that move. So their teamwork, I gave an F, composure F, hardpoint D+. Hardpoint was like probably their best mode along with S&D. Their S&D is pretty solid. They could win some S&Ds here and there. And their control is D. So please just do something. Like, I have the stick. I'm like the guy in the meme. Please do something. I'm poking you. Please, Legion, do something. Looking at our next team, we have the Seattle Surge. You guys know I'm high key, not even low key a Surge fan. I had them top 4 this year. I was gassed up to the max. I was always saying free octane when he was on Surge. You guys can go back and check the statistics. That's not cap. I've always loved Surge. Excuse me. I've always wanted them to do well, and they finally are. They went 4-1 in this stage. More on that in a second. But I gave their teamwork an A, composure an A, hardpoint an A+, S&D an A, and control an A. I thought those game modes were all very good, very encouraging for them going into the major. But in terms of my comments for them, I have one question to ask. Have they been properly tested? Thieves, Paris, London, and Florida ain't a difficult schedule. Florida had COVID. London has been chalked since Gizmo went back home. Thieves are a terrible online team in Paris. So looking at our next progress report, we have, of course, Optic Texas. Yes, we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen, if you can tell, and if you understand the alphabetical order that we're going in. I gave them an A plus. Teamwork was an A, Compose was an A, PowerPoint was an A, S&D was an A plus, and their control was an A plus plus because it was so damn good. I just had to give them an extra plus. Gold star Optic. Your control is damn good. Optics still look great. They need to make sure that they don't get countered by teams like NYSL that counter their play style really well. That just comes down to a matchup thing. And that is something that I'm looking at their coaching staff to really read. And Troy and, of course, Rambo Ray, two of the smartest guys in COD, two of the best coaches that we have. I have no doubt that these guys will definitely make it to the top four, if not winning the entire event. I mean, if they're on their game, I don't think that there's another team that can really rival them unless Faze gets back into their regular Faze form, which they really like to do at majors. So, yeah, more on that in the next video. But I do think the Optic have a very strong chance of winning this major. For me, the top four teams to win the major, I'll make it five. The Toronto Ultra, the hosts, because home field advantage is a really strong thing in COD. The Minnesota Rokkr, for obvious reasons, 5-0. They've looked really good ever since bringing Havoc in. Faze, Revenge Tour. They've been to 2 grand finals and they've lost 2 grand finals. Optic, first and sixth. They want redemption. And of course, New York. New York Subliners. I think the Subliners have a very good chance to take it. If they heat up and they stay hot, they could definitely win this major. So looking at the Toronto Ultra, the boys I just mentioned, they're they're not so icy. Throwback to the Minnesota Miracle. So the Toronto Ultra, I gave them an A plus. Their teamwork, I gave an A. The composure, I gave an A plus plus. Their composure was insane. They won 2 game fives. Insane composure. That's why they got the A plus plus. Tip it. Gotta tip it. 2 game fives. One was against Seattle. The other was against New York. That's purely off memory. Hardpoint was A plus. Hardpoint looked really good. S&D looked really good. Control looked really good. A plus across the board for the 3 game modes. Ultra looking great going into their major. Excuse me. 2 game 5 wins is also huge for their confidence as a team. So I think with those 2 game 5 wins under their belt against teams like Seattle and New York Subliners, they're full of icy vets leading the team. Of course, Lamar Accuracy leading the Seattle Surge and Crimsix leading the New York Subliners. That's great training for the major. It definitely means that in the really clutch situations where they need to pull something out of their hat, they definitely have a great chance to do so. And for that reason, I think they have a really good chance to win their home major in Toronto. So yeah, guys, that'll just about wrap it up for me for this first video. Of course, report card, I know it's long awaited, long overdue. You missed them, so I brought them back. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy all the COD later today. Be sure to let me know what you think of my report cards and ratings either in the comment section down below or on Twitter at Big Sports for Fans. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will catch you guys on the next video, which will be a preview of day 1. I'm going to do coverage all 4 days just because it's major, and why the hell not? So yeah, guys, that'll just about wrap it up for me. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Now I'll catch you on the next video. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, and I am signing out. Peace.